Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Anel Lizcano. I was born and raised in El Paso, Texas. I am Mexicana. I'm the first one in my family to graduate from college and the first one to earn a PhD and an MPH. I graduated from the University of Texas at El Paso with a bachelor's degree in clinical laboratory science. As a little girl, I was always really curious about infectious diseases and their causes, and so that led me to complete a PhD in microbiology and immunology at UT Health Science Center at San Antonio in San Antonio, Texas. As a postdoctoral fellow at the University of California, San Diego, I focused my research on gram-positive bacteria. During my research, I did feel that something was missing, and I yearned for the ability to learn or to gain the knowledge and skills to help with the prevention and surveillance of infectious diseases and to provide the best public health practices in an impactful and equitable way. So therefore, I completed a master's in public health with a focus in epidemiology at UC Berkeley School of Public Health. I am currently working with San Diego State University Research Foundation in a project called Communities Fighting COVID. I am the coordinator of field operations, where I train and supervise community health workers, and I also run several COVID-19 testing sites in San Diego County. So these are mobile COVID testing sites. One of the main goals of this project is to increase testing among Latinx, African American, Filipino, and Arabic-speaking immigrant communities that are at higher risk of exposure. And so these communities are the ones that are suffering the most and the ones that are dying the most. I am one of those 40,000. I am participating in the Pfizer clinical trials, and the reason I decided to participate is that I wanted to be an extra number that would qualify as a member of the people that are highly being affected by COVID-19 and the ones that are dying the most, which is the Latinx community. Also, as a scientist and a public health professional, I wanted to take one for the team and use myself as an example. And I also thought that if I wasn't going to get the placebo, then at least by the time this was authorized, I would already be protecting my community. And so I have been officially vaccinated since September of 2020. I've already had COVID-19, so I have antibodies and do not need to vaccinate. So yes, after a natural infection with COVID-19, you do develop antibodies against COVID-19, but these antibodies are not long-lasting. They are not as strong as they would be after vaccination, which means that you can get reinfected. So you do need to get vaccinated in order to develop a strong immune response or be able to make strong antibodies that will protect you against severe disease and death. Receiving an mRNA vaccine, the type of vaccine used in the Pfizer or the Moderna, will alter your DNA. So no, this is not some type of sci-fi movie or comic in where you're going to grow a lizard tail, or you're going to turn into some type of X-Men, or you're going to turn into a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. So no, the messenger RNA or the mRNA vaccine do not alter your DNA. So let me explain how the vaccine works. The mRNA vaccine comes with its own instructional manual, in this case the mRNA, which is the main ingredient. It tells your muscle cells, so your muscle cells, because it is injected intramuscularly. So the vaccine tells your muscle cells to make a very small part of the virus, which is the spike protein of SARS-CoV-2, which is the virus that causes COVID-19. So once this mRNA is inside your cells, it stays in the cytoplasm and it never goes into your nucleus. So the nucleus is where your DNA lives, or your genetic makeup is, or your chromosomes are. Again, this vaccine never goes into the nucleus. It does not change the DNA. Once in the cytoplasm, the mRNA instructs your cells to make that part of the spike protein. And then now when your immune cell sees the spike protein, it is recognized as a foreign object or an invader. So once our immune system starts making these antibodies against the spike protein, we gain protection against COVID-19. I've heard the side effects are really bad. So now, the most common symptom is pain at the injection site, which causes redness and swelling. It can feel sometimes as if someone has punched you. Fatigue, headache, muscle pain, chills, joint pain, and fever. These side effects are normal and temporary. This only means that actually the vaccine is working and that it is creating antibodies against COVID-19. Now, as far as like the symptoms that I had with my 2-dose vaccine, during the first dose, I did feel fatigued and I had a slight fever. For the second dose, I did feel actually a little bit worse, but it was temporary. So I did feel pain at the injection site. I did feel fatigue, no headache. I did have muscle pain, chills, and joint pain. So muscle pain was mostly the arm, but I did have a fever. But that went away overnight. The next day I woke up after taking ibuprofen. I woke up as if nothing had ever happened. I've heard severe allergic reactions are common. So there have been reports of anaphylactic reactions of people that have vaccinated outside the clinical trials. So now the CDC does recommend that persons who have had severe allergic reactions to any vaccine, or if they're allergic to any of the ingredients in the vaccines, they should not receive the Pfizer or the Moderna vaccine. Now, it is recommended you should speak to your medical provider to see what they recommend. Now, if you're still a little nervous, vaccine providers do observe all the patients they vaccinate to see if they have any adverse effects. And so people with a history of anaphylaxis are observed for about 30 minutes, and all other people are observed for 15 minutes. I have a chronic illness, so I can't risk taking the vaccine that might make me sick. So this statement is completely false. Receiving the vaccine does not make you any more susceptible to COVID-19 or other illnesses. If you feel any type of symptom after the vaccine, that is only due to the side effects of taking the vaccine, which include, again, reactions at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle pain, fever, joint pain, and chills. And so now taking the vaccine and you have an underlying health condition, it is only going to help you because it will protect you against severe disease or even death from COVID-19. COVID-19 vaccines could give you the COVID-19 disease or cause you to test positive for COVID-19 when you don't have it. So this statement is false. Both vaccines that are being administered do not contain the SARS-CoV-2 virus, which is the virus that causes COVID-19. It is biologically impossible to test positive. The vaccine particles that are injected in your muscle cells do not travel to your nose or to your mouth to make you test positive. So this is impossible. Vaccines can cause autism. No, they do not cause autism. This is false. There has been multiple studies that have been peer-reviewed that shown the vaccines are safe and effective. If not, otherwise they would not be authorized by the FDA. Vaccines save lives. COVID is not dangerous, so I don't need to take the vaccine. What do you mean COVID is not dangerous? We have lost 500,000 lives during this pandemic. How is this not a large enough number? At this point, one of us has lost a friend or a relative or know of someone that has died of COVID-19. Please reflect on that number and don't let vaccine misinformation deter you from getting the vaccine. Don't let your guard down. We are not safe until all of us are fully vaccinated. Vaccines contain aborted fetal cells, so taking it is a sin. Neither the Pfizer nor the Moderna vaccine uses cell lines that originated in fetal tissue taken from a body of an aborted baby at any stage of the design, the development, or the production of the vaccine. Additionally, Pope Francis stated back in January that taking the coronavirus vaccine is an ethical obligation, and he is encouraging everybody in the Vatican to get this vaccine. I am already vaccinated. I do not need to get tested for COVID-19. Yes, people who are vaccinated are protected about 94 to 95% against severe disease and death, but those who are not vaccinated are not protected. So if a vaccinated person becomes infected, they can still infect those who are not vaccinated. Don't be that person that unfortunately contributes to the infection of somebody who might die. So please continue to keep your guard up, encourage vaccination, vaccinate, so that we can all go back to some type of normalcy and end this pandemic.